Hi everyone, welcome to the Countdown Show for Microsoft Ignite, where we're going to be speaking to some of the amazing people behind the incredible technology we'll see more of at Ignite. So if you want to learn some of the basics or hear from the teams, check out the Countdown Show in a few weeks. In this session, we're going to be talking a little bit about Microsoft 365 and some of the great resources out there for you to leverage. And so please welcome Caruana from the Microsoft 365 team. Hi, Caruana.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining us, and especially in the build up to Ignite, right? Everyone at Microsoft's super busy. We're all getting ready for the big show. So thank you so much for your time. First things first, let's tell the audience, who are you and what do you do at Microsoft?
Oh, I'm happy to. So I'm Caruana Gatimu. I work in Microsoft Teams Engineering, and I run our customer advocacy group. And I run a lot of the programs and services around adoption of Microsoft 365, our Worldwide Champions program, our new website, and some of the things I'm going to show you today, actually.
Fantastic. And so obviously we are here remotely and we're on other sides of the planet from each other and we're able to get together and build this show. But a lot of the technologies that are supporting us are part of the Microsoft 365 platform. And I certainly know daily basis, Teams is up there, all of my Office 365, keeping me connected, keeping me part of the business. So tell us a little bit more, what's been happening, what are we looking at for sort of adoption and things like that for our customers?
Absolutely. Well, this has been an interesting time, and we've seen so much change and transition over a very short piece of physical time. And, I feel like it's important for us to acknowledge how far we've had to come during the global pandemic and how much we've actually changed. It's pretty remarkable the adaptability that organizations and people have shown as we've been dealing with this being at home. I, for one, certainly never thought that I would be here in my home office for as many months as I have been. And I have a lovely studio at the office, but instead, I'm here in my office talking with you. But thank goodness for Microsoft Teams and the tools of Microsoft 365, because I really have been able to be connected and, more importantly, serve the customers that are really important to me and to everyone at Microsoft. I don't think I've ever seen Microsoft come together and work the way that we have over the last month since late January, early February. It's been pretty spectacular. The heroics that I've seen, us trying to support all the people around the world that we support. So I'm excited to have some new tools and some learnings to really share with people as we've gone through this. Obviously, we have a robust research arm, and that research arm is definitely engaged in understanding how have the current situations impacted productivity and humans. And so some of the stuff I'm going to share with you today is really comes from that research.
Fantastic. And yeah, no, I mean, thinking about everything in tech and yeah, researching and understanding the data, but also humans, right? You do a lot around human first and thinking about actually how are people going to adopt this technology? How do we make sure that this skills gap doesn't affect people and actually they can get onboarded really quickly as well? So what tools can we see from you? What would you like to tell us about first?
Oh, absolutely. So let me hop over now and show you kind of the way that we're evolving adoption, best practices, and methodology for our times. So, as you mentioned, really taking a humans first approach is important. And this visual shows you the way we're thinking about evolving adoption for our times. If we're not prioritizing employee health and wellness, we're really missing something because our employees are the cornerstone of the productivity that we have in any organization. And they are the ones who are delivering our business outcomes. I think we always knew this, but this situation has really brought this to the forefront in our minds. And so we're embracing this at Microsoft, both internally and externally. And it really helps us bring a sense of empathy back to work. Many people are dealing with a variety of stressors in their environment, from parents having to figure out how to homeschool or support their children in distance learning, to essential workers who have been working this entire time, or those of us too who are trying to remain connected while we're working from home. So there's a variety of different situations that employees may be facing, and especially for those of us in the adoption space, we have to be mindful of that. When you're under stress, if your brain is experiencing anxiety, you literally are blocked from learning new things. So we have to be smart about this in terms of how we're teaching people these new technologies during a situation like this. And just because it's been going on for some time doesn't mean it's really any less stressful. As a matter of fact, the research is showing that our anxiety is actually building over time. Our fatigue is building over time. So this is an issue that we really need to pay attention to. And so we're continuing to evolve our adoption methodologies and the tools based on that. But first and foremost, the humans in your organization are the most important thing. Listen to them, talk with them, and understand really where they're at. And then you can design and use all the other things I'm going to share with you and understand how best to have a program for them.
Wow. Yeah, no, interesting. Yeah, the idea that the stress hasn't gone away. And I didn't actually know that. I didn't know that when you're in a stressful situation, you actually struggle to learn. That's really fascinating. When we need to be like, yeah, changing so quickly as well, in some senses, it's kind of feels like they don't go together.
Right, but the body has a natural way of preserving itself. People aren't resistant to change because they're just being stubborn. The body and the mind are engaged in maintaining a healthy status quo. And so change is viewed as stressful, and stress is viewed as negative by the body, no matter what you may think about it. Right? I'm a change agent. I've been a change agent and doing this work for 25 years. But even I feel the stress in
Yeah.
trying to learn new things. And, there was already an issue with the pace of change in Microsoft 365 before any of this happened. So you have to be able to exhale and put yourself in a receptive and learning state. And that's just difficult right now, even if you're trying to, because of all the things you may be juggling. So, having this understanding, removing the judgment from it, really coming from a place of empathy and supporting people is useful, but so is providing clarity. People need clarity and grounding during this time. And again, they always did, but now more than ever. And that's where something like the modern collaboration architecture comes in. Anybody who's followed my work, whether it was in Microsoft IT or as I came into Teams or even before I joined Microsoft, knows that I am not a fan of the what tool when question. I think it's the wrong
Okay.
thing to ask.
Mm.
I think that the tool doesn't matter, the outcome does, but people continue to ask it. So, a wonderful gentleman named Rishi has developed this framework to really help people understand what tool when, based on the type of productivity you're trying to drive, either individual, with a smaller team, in a community, or at an organizational level. And it really maps all of our products to those various types of productivity and collaboration. Some of them you may be using, some of them you may not be using, but you can choose based on that subset. And I feel like this is really important to help people have clarity. They don't really have the time to learn a lot of different things. You need to give them what they need based on your IT policy, based on what your organization is using, and then help them move forward from there. And it's the helping them move forward that is where you get into the existing Microsoft 365 adoption framework. That is the strategies and tactics that will allow you to build a plan to deliver on those business outcomes and help people make the transition. So, this whole process of putting the people first, helping them know how to align themselves with the product spaces for the type of productivity or collaboration they're doing, and then having a plan to deliver those business outcomes is really a much broader picture of driving adoption that is grounded in the only thing that matters, which is employee satisfaction.
Very, very cool. And so the modern collaboration architecture, that's that sort of broader, more contextual idea, and that leads into then the Microsoft 365 adoption. So, maybe not the what, then, when, but, what are the outcomes you want to achieve? And then how can the technology be the tool and the human the hero, as we do when we do storytelling?
Absolutely, absolutely. It is absolutely the how that you do things and those best practices. one of the joys of my job, I tell people, I couldn't have gotten a better job. I don't know how I lucked out and got this job. Actually, I do. I asked for it, but but I keep getting to do really cool things. I think that's the joy actually of working for Microsoft is I get a chance to see things worldwide in a variety of different organizations, and so I'm constantly learning from different places and getting best practices from the people actually out there doing the work. Because you can think about how things might be from kind of an academic standpoint. I'm a big fan of what I call truth from the trenches. Like what works for people who are out there doing it every day. And I spend a lot of time learning about that as we build these things, and then to share with others, right? And so it's just like being a champion. You want to learn from someone you know. And I'm blessed to be able to know a lot of people because of this role. And Teams has really changed things too, I have to say. Microsoft Teams is the hub for teamwork, has brought together groups in a company that might not have ever worked together before. The voice people and the collaboration people. They were two distinct groups prior to Microsoft Teams. And now they're actually working closely together to deliver, kind of that end-to-end value with modern meetings and devices, and as well as collaboration inside of Microsoft Teams. So it really is a different landscape now that Teams has brought us all together.
Amazing. And speaking of those frontline workers, the people who are there in the trenches and trying to keep them healthy, what ways do we have to help people? What tooling, what adoption do we have to show?
So there's some great things we have to show. Let me hop over and actually show you adoption.microsoft.com. So here we are at adoption.microsoft.com, and this is a brand new site for Microsoft. We've been involved in the adoption business for a very long time, but I remember being a customer of Microsoft and having this folder on my desktop of all the different links and places that I needed to go to find things. It's a very big company, and it's very easy for things to get fragmented. So we really wanted to bring all of the guidance together under something we call a coherence project. And you'll hear more about this at Ignite. You'll learn more about all of these things and the features that are coming when you come to Ignite. But even today, you can go and look at adoption.microsoft.com and see the way that we brought together content around each of the popular products. And what we've done is we're trying to help people be able to find what they need when they need it. And so getting started with the project, because Microsoft Teams may not be the only thing that you're rolling out. Maybe you're migrating your SharePoint from on-premise to the cloud, trying to drive OneDrive adoption now because people are remote and they need secure storage and an ability to share documents. Outlook Mobile has seen huge growth recently because of its secure capabilities and the messaging, and obviously we all use email. And so there's a lot more here, but breaking it down into getting started, engaging your org, and training them are some of the top ways that we want to share the assets that we have. And so you can come here, you can search for something, but you can also just click on an area, click on Start Now, and it'll take you to that page that gives you some of our hero information. For instance, for Microsoft Teams, our core Teams adoption flipbook, our very popular day in the life guides, which are great to leave people with. I do want to mention that when you're training people now, leave behinds are important. Even though we're digital and we're separated, many of us working remotely, giving a person something to look at after you're done with the course is a really key thing. But as you go through, you can see that the actual assets change as you click through the different phases that you may be doing on your adoption journey. So there's a lot of information here. We have information for all the relevant products. We've got a lot of resources available, and we've integrated things like the Azure Adoption Framework, various demos, all the links to our podcasts and shows, things of that nature. And so lots of topics as well. Modern collaboration architecture is available on the site. So if you'd like to learn more about that, you can come to the site and watch the great video that Rishi does talking through how to think about it. He does a fantastic job discussing how important mental stillness is to learning and dealing with this current situation, being able to silence your mind and cope with collaboration overload. That's a thing. If you didn't know about it, it exists. And so, how do you help your organization not feel that way? So, this information is available, and really there's so much more. I want to make sure that the audience understands being a champion, driving adoption, is a talent and a skill. And for those of you who are out there doing it, there is a tribe of us who like to do this work, and we have both technical acumen and business skills, and we can communicate, and we come from diverse backgrounds. I always want people to know that, I don't have a degree in computer science. I've been a business solution architect in SharePoint and even groupware back in the day for a very long time, but I didn't go to school for that. So if you're new to this space, really join us, right? There's a place for you here, where you can, indulge your curiosity about technology, but still really work with people. And that's what we call a champion. And I have the honor and privilege of running the Microsoft 365 Worldwide Champion Program. And it's a place where you can really make a difference. You can find other people like yourselves. You can help others, which is quite frankly the thing that motivates me, to get out of bed in the morning. And there are lots of program benefits to joining our free program. You get monthly training, assets you can use to help your champions, and we've expanded it to include some different tracks. We want everybody to understand security fundamentals, but maybe you'd like to be a champion in the app space or in cloud productivity, or want to take the next step for business process improvement and learn about low code or no code solutions. These are the types of things you're going to learn at Microsoft Ignite. We have so much across the Microsoft ecosystem that can help you drive business outcomes, with existing features and all the new things that are coming that we're going to announce. So it's a very exciting time to be a part of this community. And then on top of that, learn, the adoption strategy and execution methods, that the framework delivers. So, join us. Come to the party, register for Ignite, make sure that you are taking advantage of all this free training that we are providing to you, and then go back and do this work in your own organization. The last thing I want to say about that is that, sometimes people think that Microsoft is only for the big enterprise. And while it's true that we support the greatest and largest companies in the world, and governments and other folks, maybe you're a small business person and you're just hearing this show, you're watching us today because you really think that maybe Microsoft can help you, be more effective as a small business. Yes, we can. We have materials that are just for you in the small, medium business space. And we've simplified those. We're committed to supporting you because small to medium business is the lifeblood of our economy. And so we want to make sure that you have the same advantages as a large company, using Microsoft Teams to connect with customers, being able to use, Power Apps to gather information from maybe your field service people. There's a variety of ways that you can use Microsoft 365 and Azure to help your business. So don't think that Microsoft is just for the largest companies in the world. We're here for you too.
I love that. I was going to say, like, just having everyone getting on board with this. Interestingly, I had a workman doing some work at the house, and he was saying that they were using Teams, and he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to understand it and learn it." And then he said there was someone in his organization that was like, he called them the advocate, and was kind of pushing that message. And I was like, "Gosh, it's so funny because in the technical community, we do this, don't we? We have people who kind of all those experts, they share the message, they share the pros, but they're very honest as well about some of the things that it will allow you to do. But then it's so good to hear that this is kind of for everyone, and obviously Ignite will give even more.
Absolutely. And something, as a champion, there's no replacement for authenticity. If your user base tells you that they dislike something or that they think it's broken, listen to them, right? It's not our job as champions to defend the product. It's our job to take that feedback back to the people who make these decisions. So when you are a champion in an organization, you should be working hand in hand with your IT team. Right. I'm a longtime IT pro, and the most important people that I ever worked with were those champions who would come back and say, that policy or that solution or release, nobody understands it. Like, you need to know that, and you need to be open and willing to hear when something's not working. And one of the best things I probably ever learned was taking some communication courses about the positive nature of critical feedback. And I don't mean being critical in a negative way. I mean people really being specific about what's not working. I encourage people to do that in our user voice instances, for instance, all around the world and across Microsoft. We use user voice as a way to have customers share with us what they'd like to see us do next. And we look at user voice every month to prioritize what our backlog is. So this is a part of agile service management, and IT pros out there in the audience will know what that's about. But basically, it's a way of allowing you to chunk up the work in more manageable pieces and continuously deliver value. In IT, we used to do these really big projects, and they would take 6 months or a year, and by then everything had changed, and so we've had to do things differently. But being a champion, bringing that feedback back to your IT team, and then your IT team or your champion leaders bringing it to us in Microsoft through the program I was sharing is really important. So you really have to be a trusted leader. And if you are new in your organization or you're new to being a champion, just know that your reputation and your ability to listen are your most important skills. It's okay to say you don't know about some feature. I say it every day.
Yeah.
There's too
So,
many features across Microsoft 365. No one knows it all. So don't try to do that. But continue to learn, but just be open about what you don't know. It's perfectly okay. And just, be in the trenches with people. It's probably why I miss being out in the field, speaking to user groups, coming to conferences. I really miss the people that I support. And this is fantastic. I'm enjoying being here with you, but I love those folks, and I hope that they're getting the support that they need. It's really important to me and my entire team and everyone here who does this sort of work. So
amazing. And speaking of you don't know what you don't know, we have Microsoft 365 learning paths here, but within adoption.microsoft.com, right? All of this stuff we've talked about so far, adoption.microsoft.com, we've got to send people there. That seems to be where it's all happening.
it kind of is. Yep. It's all happening there, and it's going to get better. We have some wonderful stuff planned for release at Ignite to support all of the various feature announcements that we'll be doing and things of that nature and more. So, yes, if you haven't bookmarked it yet, you probably should as we continue to bring all of this together. But Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways is one of the solutions that I'm really excited about because it represents the work across multiple product groups and with our masters of content, right? The masters and mistresses of content inside our organization is in a group called Marvel, and they're responsible for docs.microsoft.com and support.microsoft.com and all of these end product experiences that you see around help. And so the three of us came together to build Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways. And it is a free tool that allows you to stream Microsoft product training into your own tenant. And what I love about Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways is that you can configure it to be whatever you need. If your organization isn't using Sway, or maybe you're not using Teams yet, you can turn that content off. You can build your own playlists and include your own content for policies and processes that you might want to train people on. And it really helps you think through what you're trying to teach people in consumable bites. The playlist format is fantastic to minimize that neural stress that people are under. And recently, we announced that we're now available in English and 8 other languages. So we're working on our localization. That was a top customer request through our user voice, and we're excited that we have delivered on that, as well as making sure that we bring that knowledge directly into Microsoft Teams. So we have an app that we call the Get Starting app that can be deployed, and it will bring the learning pathways knowledge from the SharePoint site that gets deployed right into Microsoft Teams, so that you can then interact with it within that experience. And so, you can deliver your own custom training, all of these things that I mentioned, but it's really important to break this down. And if you'd like, I could show you.
Yeah, please. When you said it can be built into Teams, I was like, what? That's like where I spend the majority of my life right now. So yeah, go ahead. Let's have a look at it.
Okay, great. All right, so first I'm going to go over to the SharePoint Lookbook. And if you haven't been here yet, or maybe you're still working in classic SharePoint, I highly encourage you to come over to lookbook.microsoft.com. So the lookbook enables you to install templates from us into your own tenant to speed your time to having a beautiful modern site. And we have many templates that are available based on the type of site you might want to build for your organization. Maybe you want to modernize your intranet. You want to have a more modern site for the department you work on. There are more modern team sites that leverage all the different capabilities. And what this is doing is it's giving you this framework and then you populate it with your own information. Well, we also have a section here called solutions. And Learning Pathways is one of the solutions that you can install directly here from the lookbook. Now, a couple things you need to know. To install Learning Pathways, you do need to have admin rights on your tenant. So you do need to be a tenant administrator. But once it's installed, that is no longer required. So an IT pro, a tenant administrator can come and install it and then hand the site off to the training manager in an organization. Or if you're one of those small to medium businesses and you do all of that, just know that it doesn't take more administrative rights to actually run and manage the site once you finish the installation. The other thing to note is that there are new templates that we published to help people with schools. And so a staff homepage, a class homepage, a homepage for the school itself, these things are very important. And again, we want to make sure that we're helping people get a beautiful experience quickly. But once it's installed, then you're able to see it and install things directly inside of Microsoft Teams. So this is that same beautiful SharePoint site using the Get Started app template pinned on the left rail of Microsoft Teams. And so this gives me the ability to see exactly how this site looks inside of Teams. And I can continue to configure this so that I have a Teams training or OneDrive basics, whatever you're trying to teach your people. But I've also added things like other SharePoint sites. And that's why I love this Get Started app, because every company can configure it to the tabs that they want to show. And once you have this built in here, you can have your Teams training right here at your fingertips. Now, all of these playlists are created by Microsoft. You can edit them and hide them if you wanted to, but maybe you have other things to do besides create training materials. I don't know. I always did. And this actually came out of my truth from the trenches moment of spending too much time creating playlists and training materials in the world. And especially with the pace of change, it's very difficult. And so we wanted people to be able to see these playlists in a way that was easy and consumable, and we are updating them whenever they need to be updated with new features and capabilities. So you can see here, this is a Teams quick start. And if you click the drop down arrow here, you can see that there's the basics of sign in and get started, chat and share files, set up your mobile app, and learn how to collaborate. And most of our playlists also use the best practice of having a visual asset as well as something to, as you know, words on the page, because people learn in different ways. There are different learning modalities, and we need to accommodate those who are visual learners versus those who are not. And so, you can just click through this playlist, and it's all available to you. So I love the fact that it's available here, but of course I can hop right out into Learning Pathways in SharePoint and then see the full experience. So maybe you're not using Teams yet and you just want to get the benefit of this, as you help people get started with OneDrive, for instance. We have additional, capabilities all across the M365 training space and various scenarios, including our new Work Remotely playlists. You can see all the content that we have included here for people. And again, you can configure this if there's something you're not using, why you don't have to show it. So, we're just really excited to bring this to people and to help folks understand that they don't have to be the ones making all the training materials. They can use what we have, edit it, and include their own custom content. I love these kind of tools. And of course, we also have online demonstrations that are available where you can help people just click through the kind of information you really want them to know when they're really new to Teams. This is another tool that we have that you can access from adoption.microsoft.com. And you can go back and forward. And this allows people who are more hands-on learners to be engaged with the mouse a little bit. And that actually triggers a different area of your brain when your body's moving and you're learning something. So we want to do that, whenever we can. And I just love these, because you can also go back and forward at your own pace. So, we're thrilled to have these things available. You can find them all on adoption.microsoft.com here under our training tab. Our day in the life guides are a great leave behind after you have done a course like this. You can remind people, what they can learn and do, as a digital remote worker with Microsoft 365. At the end of the day, I really think it's important to remember, though, features are only as important as the outcomes they help an organization land. Right? So every time new features come out, maybe you don't need to care about that, especially if you're a small to medium business. Get the basics down. Use Microsoft Teams meetings. Use things like Forms and Flow to gather data from customers. Manage your tasks with tasks and Teams. Get that leg up with Microsoft 365 to make your business effective. And then you can do other things, right? Many of us now can produce live events. And a live event is a great way to communicate with customers and partners. But my point is that make sure you are connecting all of this to the business outcomes that you're trying to drive, and simplify this for yourself and for your employees, especially now. And if you don't know how, ask us. I'm out there in the Driving Adoption Forum all the time. And more importantly, come to Ignite. Come to Ignite, learn from other people, hear what we have to offer, and have some fun, because it's going to be a great event.
Fantastic. I think there is so much. I feel like this session won't do it justice. So people have to go and register for Ignite now, because there's just too much more to go and see and do. But adoption.microsoft.com seems to be the main call out here, as this is where you can get to all that amazing stuff. It was amazing to see the different types of learning as well. And also being able to revisit them. I like that. I always find I might go to a training, maybe physically, maybe online, and you'll take it all in on the day. But the minute I go to sleep, my short-term memory decides what it's going to keep and what it's going to store.
Yes.
And then I always have to come back. I love the cheat sheets and stuff like that for this is how you do this bit, or this is what you could be doing. This is how it's easier to convert between devices or stuff like that. That's it's really, really amazing. And I love that they're so graphic as well. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's really important to bring in that visual learning component. We feel like, that really matters. And, we've done the same thing with a lot of our adoption guides too, to just really tell the story a little bit differently, because, people are busy also. And you want to make sure that people understand even basic things. I love this new one for document collaboration. It's one of those things where people don't realize they can co-author documents, and they don't realize all the capabilities that OneDrive and SharePoint and Microsoft 365 actually give them. So we have specific day in the lives based on roles around document collaboration. If you've ever been in sales, you know that you do a lot of that in that particular role, but everybody does now. And so really helping people to understand what that's like is here. But, again, this is about what exists today, and Ignite is also about the future. We're not done yet. We have so much more to do to unify and deliver beautiful experiences, to meet companies not only where they are, but where they need to be. So I'm really excited about the future of Microsoft and what we're bringing and everything we're going to talk about across Azure, Microsoft 365, and Dynamics 365. We have these three clouds, and they work together, and they're very powerful for small, medium, and large businesses. And I know I'm a fangirl. I've been in the Microsoft ecosystem for almost 30 years. But I'm proud. I'm a proud Microsoft employee because of what I see us doing, and also what we have done during this pandemic. I've never really been more proud to be a Microsoft employee. So, If people are new to this space, we're here to help. If you've been around a long time, we're going to have new and exciting things for you. And if you're somewhere in the middle, maybe trying to understand what you're going to learn and do next, maybe with your career, come and talk to us, because there's so many opportunities here at Microsoft. It's a great thing to be a part of, this ecosystem. And, we need diverse ideas and people to really build a future we all want to participate in.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness, we've covered so much. I keep saying that because there is just so much. But the main thing is, in the last few sentences, where should people go to learn more?
Well, it's definitely about adoption.microsoft.com. We want them to come there, take advantage of all the free resources, and join our Microsoft 365 Worldwide Champions program. It's a fantastic place for IT pros, developers, and everyone is welcome. But most importantly, we want them to join us for Ignite. We have so many wonderful things that we are making sure happen for people, and lots of news and information. So it's really going to be a fantastic time. So thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
No, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Caruana, and we will see you at Ignite. So to everyone watching, thank you for joining us. The main thing, if you want to see more about things in this space, in others, anything to do with the Microsoft platform, register. It's free to register. It's free to attend Microsoft Ignite. Go to register.msignite.microsoft.com. Thank you so much.